The Tale of Two Summers and the Secret, Cost of Later. In a sleepy suburb just outside of Austin, Texas, where the heat waves dance on the asphalt and the smell of backyard barbecue fills the air, lived two cousins, Caleb and Mason. They were 18, standing on the edge of the rest of their lives, but they were walking at two very different speeds. Caleb, he was the kind of guy who had a color-coded calendar on his wall. He wasn't a nerd, he just understood the math of life. He worked the early shift at the local hardware store, 6 a.m. to noon every single day. By the time the sun was high enough to melt a popsicle, Caleb was already done. He had money in his pocket, his car's oil was changed, and his college applications were sitting in the sent folder. Then there was Mason. Mason was the king of the slow start. He'd wake up at 2 in the afternoon, curtains drawn, the blue light of his gaming monitor the only thing illuminating his room. His mom would knock on the door and say, "Mason, the lawn is a jungle, and that summer internship deadline is tonight." And Mason, he'd just sigh, adjust his headset, and mutter, "In a minute, Mom. I'm almost at the next level. I'll do it later." But here's the thing about later. It's a trap. It's a ghost that disappears every time you try to grab it. One Friday, the cousin's grandfather, a man with hands as rough as sandpaper and eyes that had seen 80 summers, called them both over to his workshop. He handed them each an old wooden toolbox. "Boys," he said, his voice like gravel, "inside these boxes is a project. If you finish it by the end of July, I've got a surprise for you that'll change your life. But it has to be perfect." Caleb opened his box that very afternoon. It was a vintage, disassembled clock mechanism, tiny gears, hair-thin springs, a puzzle of brass and steel. He started immediately. He spent 1 hour every evening, just one, sitting at his desk, carefully oiling the parts, fitting the teeth of the gears together. He made mistakes, sure, but he had the time to fix them. Mason? Mason looked at the box, saw the 100 tiny pieces, and felt his stomach drop. "Man, that looks like a lot of work," he thought. He pushed the box under his bed. "I'll get to it on Monday. I've got the whole month. Plenty of time." Monday turned into the following Thursday. The following Thursday turned into next week. While Caleb was watching his clock start to tick, a steady, rhythmic heartbeat of progress, Mason was out at the lake, or sleeping in. The final week of July hit like a freight train. A heat wave rolled in, and the AC in Mason's house blew out. He was sweaty, tired, and suddenly panicked. He pulled the box from under the bed. He tried to force the gears together, but his hands were shaking. He stayed up until 4 in the morning, fueled by cheap energy drinks and regret. Snap! He pushed a spring too hard, and it broke. The one piece he couldn't fix. The next morning, Caleb set his clock down. It was beautiful. It ticked with a crisp, confident sound. Tock, tock, tock. Mason set his box down. It was a mess of loose parts and a cracked wooden frame. Their grandfather didn't yell. He just looked sad. He reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 sets of keys. One set went to a restored 1969 Chevy Camaro sitting in the driveway, gleaming in the sun. The other set went back into his pocket. "Caleb," the old man said, "you respected the work, so the work respected you. You didn't just build a clock, you built a habit of success." He turned to Mason. "Son, everyone thinks they can outrun the clock. But time is the only thing you can't buy back. You didn't lose this car because you weren't smart enough. You lost it because you thought tomorrow was a guarantee." The silence on that porch was heavier than the Texas heat. Caleb didn't brag. He just looked at his cousin, and for the first time, Mason really saw the cost of later. It wasn't just a missed deadline. It was a missed life. So, ask yourself, what's under your bed right now? Stop waiting for the right time. Start right now.